The time is 9 o'clock, and you're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
Hello, I'm Clinton Davis with your local CHMA News. Tantramar Council met Monday night for a Committee of the Whole meeting, which had been rescheduled from February 23rd. This past Wednesday, I brought a detailed review of a section of the meeting in which a recurrent theme was discussed once more. Certain councillors expressed concern around the amount of quotes obtained for outside services before being presented to council. But first, at Mount Allison University, a student is helping bring comfort and engagement to patients with dementia at Sackville Memorial Hospital. Navaya LeBlanc received a $2,000 project grant through the Place aux Compétences program, which supports young people in New Brunswick who want to give back to their communities. LeBlanc worked with staff on the Brunswick West unit, where many patients are waiting for long-term care placement. Together, they identified items that could help patients stay calm and engaged. The grant paid for fidget and tactile items, activity books, puzzles, therapy dolls, and dementia-friendly radios with large buttons. The unit also received an additional iPad for patient activities. Tahneen Ludi is a nurse manager who worked on the unit. Ludi says that even small items can make a big difference, helping patients reconnect with familiar activities while they spend weeks or months in hospital waiting for placement. And now for our feature story. The postponed Committee of the Whole meeting, where councillors review reports and proposals before formal votes take place at a regular council meeting, took place Monday. Absent from the meeting were Councillors Josh Gauguin, Councillor Alison Butcher, Councillor Debbie Wiggins-Caldwell. First off the bat, councillors reviewed a proposal to create Tantramar's first unified asset management plan since amalgamation, building on plans previously completed by Sackville and Dorchester in 2018. Quote of just over $43,200 plus tax was given, and council moved the item forward to consent, but not before a longer debate took place. You can find the details of that debate online from Wednesday's news at chmafm.com. Council moved into new technology. They discussed replacing the electronic devices used by councillors. Michael Beal, Director of Financial Services, explained that tablets were purchased for the council during the last term. With the municipal election coming up, staff are now proposing laptops for the next council. The devices are estimated to cost about $2,000 each, for a proposed rough total of approximately $18,000 for the next mayor and 8 councillors. Council agreed to move the purchase forward for an approval vote at the next regular council meeting. No requests for additional quotes were raised. The next item focused on improvements to the splash pad at Bill Johnston Memorial Park in Sackville. Matt Pride is Tantramar's Director of Active Living and Culture. He said the work will replace a feature that has not been working for some time.
Cost to remove the older feature and supply the new one is $12,333.33 plus a HST.
Staff recommended a new umbrella-style feature at a cost of just over $12,000 plus tax, which falls within the approved budget. That item also moved to consent. Councillors reviewed 2 projects planned for the Tantramar Veterans Memorial Civic Centre, and you can read more about that online at chmafm.com. The first is new rubber flooring in the players' entrance, and the second is replacement of the ring's evaporative condenser, a major piece of equipment used to keep the ice frozen. Pride said that the system has reached the end of its life. The recommended condenser replacement would run about $220,000 plus tax. Councillor Matt Estabrook said the current unit has already lasted longer than expected. Both Civic Centre items were moved to the consent agenda. Next, Council considered requests tied to this year's Dorchester Shiretown Festival, scheduled for June 11th to the 14th. Organizers asked for road closures, equipment use, and permission to install a banner.
They asked to approve the closure of Woodlawn Cape Road from Ladysmith Manor to School Street, and School Street from Cape Road to Harrop on June 13th.
Pride outlined the proposed parade route closures. Council raised no objections and moved the item forward as well. Reports came in from fire and police departments, as well as recreation, public works, and finance. Fire officials reported routine call activity, including collisions, alarms, and other emergency responses. The department continues to rely on outside help when needed. RCMP gave a very brief update saying traffic collisions, mental health-related calls, and suspicious vehicle complaints were among the issues keeping officers busiest during this reporting period. Public Works staff highlighted winter operations, while finance staff said Tantramar's 2025 financial statements are nearly complete and the annual audit is expected later this spring. Before the public question period, councillors discussed a request from a group of Sackville firefighters who had asked to meet directly with council about concerns within the department. That request was not granted because the municipality says an independent investigation is already underway. However, Councillor Bruce Finney said he would prefer council hear from the firefighters directly. Mayor Andrew Black disagreed, saying a meeting during the investigation could create problems. During question period, journalist Bruce Wark asked whether emails tied to the dispute would be made public and whether reduced firefighter participation affects public safety. Black said the emails were sent privately to council and could only be released by the firefighters themselves.
Our legal counsel would say that it is not a good idea or advisable to do so.
He also said he believes the public remains protected. Because this was a committee of the whole meeting, none of the items voted on are formally improved until the final vote takes place at next week's council. And that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email news@chmafm.com. In the meantime, I'm Clinton Davis with your local CHMA News here in Tantramar.
Hello, I'm Braydon Kelly, and you're listening to CHMA Radio 106.9 FM, Sackville, New Brunswick.
And here is your CHMA Atlantic update. NB Power has scored a property tax win, and it'll cost Belledune and St. John about $500,000 each. Service New Brunswick has revised the taxable value of major power generation plants in both communities. Belledune's plant is now worth about $28 million less, and the station in St. John is down about $22 million. The value of the Mactaquac Dam was also cut by $5 million. The Correctional Service of Canada says it's investigating the death of an inmate at a maximum security federal prison in New Brunswick. In a release, the agency said the 55-year-old died Monday while in custody at the Atlantic Institution in Reynou. The Corrections Agency added that the man had been serving a life sentence since July 2023. Former Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Andrew Furey is joining National Bank of Canada as Vice Chair. The bank says Furey will work with its commercial banking and capital markets teams beginning March 16th. Officials say Furey will help grow the bank's presence and deepen its client relationships across the country. National Bank of Canada is the smallest of Canada's 6 systemically important banks. Hundreds of artists, musicians, and members of heritage groups gathered yesterday outside the Nova Scotia legislature to protest the government's recent budget cuts. The Nova Scotia Arts Coalition says other protests were planned in 9 other communities across the province. Last week, the Progressive Conservative government announced it would cut $130 million in grants, reducing or eliminating funding for arts, tourism, and culture programs, as well as money set aside for Indigenous and African Nova Scotian projects. At the protest yesterday in downtown Halifax, anti-government chants were accompanied by plenty of singing and artfully decorated protest signs. A First Nation chief in Nova Scotia says Mi'kmaq people have a treaty right to sell cannabis amid fresh police raids on multiple Indigenous-owned cannabis operations. The comments by Chief Terry Paul of Member 2 First Nation are in conflict with the position of the provincial government, which has called on police to crack down on illegal cannabis storefronts. The RCMP say they issued tickets and seized cannabis on Tuesday from 5 dispensaries in Eskasoni First Nation, Podlatek First Nation, Buckenkeg First Nation, Wakoba First Nation, and in Digby. Paul says the raids were an unnecessary violation of treaty rights, and the province has refused to work with the community to regulate cannabis sales on the First Nations territory. Newfoundland and Labrador's Brad Gushue and Canada's Brad Jacobs have secured playoff spots at the Montana's Brier. Gushue walloped Prince Edward Island's Tyler Smith 12-3 yesterday, and Jacobs rolled over to a 10-4 win over Nova Scotia's Kendall Thompson. Canada and Newfoundland and Labrador share the Pool A lead at 6-0. And that has been your CHMA Atlantic Update.
Hi, I'm Ella, and you're listening to CHMA.
And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
Today's episode sees us talking about 6 games in the NBA, 5 in the NHL, 1 in the PWHL, the start of the World Baseball Classic, and playoff basketball in Halifax for the Mount Allison Mounties. Beginning with the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder defeat the New York Knicks 103-100. It was the Charlotte Hornets with a 118-89 victory over the Boston Celtics in Boston. Jazz hold on at home to defeat the visiting 76ers 106-102. It was the Trailblazers 122-114 over the Memphis Grizzlies. Hawks by 18 over the Milwaukee Bucks 131-113. And in the late game, it was the Los Angeles Clippers defeating the visiting Indiana Pacers 130-107. In the NHL, it took extra time early for the Golden Knights to get past the Red Wings for 3 final and overtime for the kids from Nevada. The Toronto Maple Leafs once again lose in the extra time. This time they lose to the New Jersey Devils 4-3 in a shootout on the road. In the late games, it was the Carolina Hurricanes defeating the Vancouver Canucks 6-4, Ducks over the Islanders 5-1 in Anaheim, and it was the St. Louis Blues getting past the Seattle Kraken 3-2 final there. In the PWHL, it was the Ottawa Charge defeating the visiting Seattle Torrent 4-3, meaning Ottawa maintains its position in the league standings in 4th place. World Baseball Classic started yesterday, and it was Australia shutting out Chinese Taipei 3-0 final in the group play. And finally, coming up tomorrow at Mount St. Vincent University, Mount Allison Mounties women's and men's basketball teams make the ACAA Championship. Women play Crandall at 1 p.m. and the men face off against UMB SJ at 6 p.m.
And that's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Please be sure to check out Brian's show on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. for more sports commentary.
ਹੈਲੋ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰਸ਼ਰਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ CHMA
Hey folks, if you're looking for something to do on Wednesday evenings, Backtown Trivia is now back with its winter series. The doors open at 5 p.m. and trivia kicks off at 7 p.m. every Wednesday night. So do not miss out and head down with your friends to the Backtown Brewing Company. Exit 26 is a lively bilingual Tintamar comedy presented by Motive Fancy Theatre, where Galek and his actors rehearse John Paul Sartre's classic No Exit for the year 2026. As 3 wildly incompatible characters find themselves in hell for cowardice and surrendering to autocracy, the rehearsal takes an unexpected turn when characters from other plays burst onto the stage, challenging the script and stir up delightful chaos. With the theatre itself seemingly haunted, the story unfolds in surprising ways before ending on a joyous and inspiring note. Performances run March 4th to March 7th from 7:30 to 8:40 p.m. and all tickets are just $5, available now on Ticket Owl. Looking for a unique piece of art and a chance to support local student artists? The final Fine Arts Students Show and Sale is happening on Friday, March 6th and Saturday, March 7th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the foyer of the Purdy Crawford Center for the Arts. Drop in to browse a variety of student-made work and take something home. Cash sales only and everyone is welcome.
Hello, this is Penny Mott from Marshlight Theatre in Sackville, New Brunswick. We're hosting a dinner party and you're invited. You won't want to miss this one. The play is called Late Company, written by Jordan Tannehill and directed by Jay Whitehead. It's a poignant drama about grief and reconciliation. Performances are February 27th, 28th, March 1st, and then March 6th to the 8th at 7:30 p.m. 2 matinee performances are on Saturday, February the 28th and Saturday, March the 7th at 2 p.m. All performances are at the Marshlight Theatre, 3 Fairfield Road, Sackville. Tickets can be purchased at marshlight.ca. Hope to see you at the theatre.
Sackville Film Society presents Dead Man's Wire in the Amherst Theatre on Thursday, March 12th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are available at the box office. Dead Man's Wire is a crime thriller based on the true 1977 kidnapping of mortgage broker Richard Hall by Tony Kiritsis in Indianapolis. Starring Bill Skarsgård, the film depicts a 63-hour standoff where Kiritsis wired a sawed-off shotgun to Hall's neck, demanding repayment for a perceived business scam and becoming an unlikely media-driven folk hero.
Hey folks, if you're looking for a fun and creative way to spend time with your children, Make Something Sunday is back with Felt World, a hands-on workshop where kids 12 and under, along with their grown-ups, can cut, shape, and play with colorful felt to create a movable felt board artwork. Drop in on Sunday, March 15th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Owens Art Gallery in Sackville. No registration is required and it is completely free.
And that was your CHMA News. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramara's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com.
Hey guys, you are listening to the Late Morning Show on CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, voice of the marshes. I'm Maya Noel and the time is 9:12 a.m. We're going to play a couple songs for you. We got Hayden Peters with I Always Knew, Daisy, and we also have Sam Henshaw with Get Back.
I always knew that I would take you.
That was Sam Henshaw with Get Back on CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, Voice of the Marshes. I'm Maya Noel, and this is the Late Morning Show, and we also listened to I Always Knew, Daisy by Hayden Peters. Next up, we've got Potion Seller by Synthetic Friend and Astronaut by Phoebe Rings. Have fun!